Hi everybody, this is an open letter. My name is Dr. Stephen Brewer and I am a clinical and forensic psychologist in San Diego, California. And until this morning, I was a full-time assistant professor in the College of Health, Human Services, and Science at Ashford University. I, along with most of the full-time faculty in my college, were wrongfully discharged after making reasonable and rational complaints regarding our workplace conditions, including, but not limited to, workload, salary, harassment, and retaliation. This serves as my exit interview. When I was promoted from adjunct faculty to assistant professor in 2012, Ashford was going through initial accreditation with WASC and needed to increase the number of full-time professors for accreditation to move forward as smoothly as possible. At the time, I was fresh out of grad school and appreciative of the opportunity extended to me by Dr. Eric Klein to be part of an innovative and vibrant culture of talented educators and technicians setting the bar for online education. It was quite an exciting time to be part of that dynamic team. But things changed. As time went on, several faculty lamented that we were on payroll only to satisfy the wishes of WASC, our regional accreditor. Even in this context, I believe Ashford has talented educators and technicians who wish to improve and innovate within online education. However, the significant barriers present in AU's organizational structure restrict creativity, inhibit innovation, and demoralize otherwise talented, motivated, and forward-thinking educators. As an example, the process to make significant changes to course content at Ashford is so onerous as to discourage changes entirely until they become so problematic that they absolutely must be addressed. Part of my resistance to having standardized guidance in all courses relates to our inability to change course content easily. In effect, our hands as professors are tied in our classrooms, and there are certainly constraints on academic freedom. Further, my projects within Ashford over the past several years since Dr. Tănăsescu departed have gone unacknowledged when they went well, and overpunished when they did not. Inconsistent application of course expectations between managers, frequent managerial changes, uneven workloads between faculty, favoritism, and the apparent poor communication between managers and leadership contributed to the development of what I see clearly as an unhealthy and even hostile work environment that no reasonable professional should work in. After I made several informal complaints, a formal complaint, a finding of communication issues within leadership, and subsequent lack of substantive resolution, I was pushed to the sidelines. My undergraduate course assignments changed from 2 clinical and counseling-focused courses, Psych 303 and Psych 380, to 2 courses outside my scope of competence, ABS 200 and ABS 415. My clinical and counseling courses were reassigned to the ABS program chair, Dr. Yvonne Lozano. When it was brought to the attention of leadership that teaching or leading courses outside my scope of competence is an unethical practice for me to engage in and could risk my license as a clinical and forensic psychologist in California, I was told by the associate dean overseeing the ABS program that, quote, the needs of the college have not changed. My request to be restored to my original course assignments was denied. My continued employment was contingent on teaching courses outside my scope of competence, and for this reason alone, I should have resigned. But I stayed, hoping things would get better. They didn't. Starting in 2013, I had the pleasure of founding the Ashford University Online Psychology Club, and through my leadership and support of colleagues, was able to grow the club into a vibrant learning community of over 6,000 members, including students, staff, faculty, and alumni at zero cost to the university. Shortly after the resolution of my formal complaint and reassignment to ABS, I was effectively removed as Psychology Club faculty advisor in early 2018 and replaced with a team of advisors. Leadership of the Psychology Club was eventually given to the ABS program chair, Dr. Yvonne Lozano. No substantive reason was given to me for removing me as the lead for the Psychology Club and instituting a team leadership model, and no apparent performance issues were related to this reassignment. This change was instituted by college leadership as a way to, quote, provide more opportunities for engagement, end quote. Since these changes started in 2018, I have seen the club deteriorate slowly under the leadership of the ABS program chair, and there are now, in fact, fewer opportunities for students to engage. Again, I should have resigned. But, like an abused spouse, I stayed, hoping things would get better. Through a longitudinal research project funded by the University Fellows Project, the research team I led since 2013 was able to show conclusively that the mere presence of a learning community in an online academic program improves student outcomes significantly. As stated in my formal complaint filed in October 2017, quote, "The faculty advisor role is a very significant part of Dr. Brewer's work at AU, including maintenance of a 5,000-member student learning community and related activities in relation to a longitudinal research project that is entirely connected to the Psychology Club. Threats from leadership to replace Dr. Brewer as a faculty advisor are equivalent to threats to terminate employment and research funding," end quote. Funding for the Psychology Club's UFP project was awarded in January 2018, presumably to create the illusion of objectivity and impartiality following the formal investigation, and then summarily not awarded in January 2019. And it still got worse. Following this, I received a poor performance review in early 2019 based on courses I taught outside my scope of competence. The review included a significant amount of fabricated and incorrect observations by the ABS program chair, Dr. Yvonne Lozano, that were not representative of my performance in courses where I was competent to teach course content. The MA Psychology program chair, Dr. Gerald Kerwin, stated, quote, "Your courses were fine. I didn't see anything wrong with them," end quote. I challenged the performance review but was denied appeal. I took FMLA leave shortly after this for mental health reasons induced or exacerbated by workplace issues, as alluded to in my 2017 formal complaint where I stated I was burning out. These issues seem extraordinary for any university professor and are objectively neither fair nor right for any ethical professional to tolerate. Fortunately, I have a stable and secure group of colleagues and mentors who, over the 3 months of my FMLA leave in mid-2019, reminded me of my worth and the value I bring to academic teams. No reasonable professional would want to be part of any workplace that disrespects their substantive complaints while almost entirely ignoring their accomplishments and contributions. Additionally, it is absolutely unacceptable to engage in unethical practices and lead courses outside one's scope of competence to be a team player. As a founding member of the AU Faculty Senate's Faculty Welfare Committee, I know from my conversations with colleagues across the university that my experience was not an isolated one. When I joined Ashford, I was enthusiastic to share my experience with colleagues in academia, fight the stigma associated with being an online for-profit institution, and attract new talent and students to our academic community. Now, I am ashamed to have stayed with Ashford University as long as I have. To my colleagues who still work at AU, please know that I am deeply saddened to leave our academic group. Ashford and the hopes we had in the beginning was a significant part of my life for the past decade. The opportunities extended to me by fellow academicians significantly impacted my development as your colleague. We've been through a lot together. I'm sorry you will continue to be treated as window dressing by Ashford University leadership. I am sorry your hands are tied in your online classrooms as academic freedom is slowly chipped away. I am sorry you are at-will employees and not given tenure. I am sorry you work 50 weeks a year and are unable to take vacation. I am sorry you are not given adequate time for research. I am sorry you are gaslit when you complain to leadership. I am sorry you are pressured to engage in unethical behavior. I am sorry you are implicitly pressured to inflate grades. I am sorry you are directly pressured to keep students engaged when they lack basic comprehension of standard American English. And I am so very sorry that, given my competence in clinical and forensic psychology, I didn't do more to make your work environment a healthier and happier place. To my students, your stories and growth will continue to inspire me long after I've left this institution. I hope to cross paths with you professionally at a conference or workshop one day, so if you see me, please feel free to come up and say hi. And before I go, I also want to share with you a quote that hangs on the wall in my private practice in San Diego. It's from my favorite show, Doctor Who. We all change. When you think about it, we're all different people all through our lives. And that's okay, that's good. You've got to keep moving so long as you remember all the people that you used to be. I will not forget one line of this. Not one day, I swear. I will always remember when your professor was me. If I believed this information would have been used to create a viable retention strategy for academics at Ashford, I would have saved my comments for a confidential exit interview. Please let me know where to mail the company laptop and phone. Take care of yourselves out there, and be gentle.